football, baby.
Whoever made the NFL schedule this year, if you're listening to me right now, I want you to understand that I fucking love you. 3 weeks ago, we were 2-6. My starting quarterback looked like the next Antonio Brown, and Tyreek wouldn't stop beefing with the Miami PD. I was certain I was going to get fired, but with that beating we just put on the Patriots, it's 3 wins in 3 games for the Dolphins against some pretty shitty teams. We're back in the playoff hunt, and we've got 2 games against the Jets on our remaining schedule. Dolphins fans, don't hold your breath, but we might just make it out of this thing alive. Anyways, I'll see you guys on Thanksgiving.
That was amazing.
You like him now? Oh, he's still muted. He doesn't know how to unmute himself. There you go. Go ahead, Rich.
I just said AI is a beautiful drug.
Oh, it really is. The things you can do with AI nowadays is just...
I've refused to watch those things because it's just going to get out of control, and I'm not going to be part of it. But that one was pretty good because I hate that guy, Mike McDaniel. You know who I also hate? Jerod Mayo and the New England Patriots. Welcome to the recap show, Week 12, Snap. What do we call it? Snapshot. A regression back to the mean, and the mean is suck. That's what the mean is for the Patriots. They blow when faced against a team that has a clue. Failure on every level of the organization in New England here in Week 12. This show, we're going to debate whether it starts with the roster, which Ray got all fucking hot and bothered on the text chain again on Sunday.
You were drunk
the coaches. The coaches. Plenty of blame to go around. We'll dive into the particulars of this game, the bigger picture. We'll include some sights and sounds from the players and the coaches, as always. But I really want to get into who had the absolute worst day on Sunday. We've got some stellar candidates. Before then, let's do some opening takes. Ray, you're back on suspension for your nasty little fucking diatribe at the beginning of last show, just poking the bear. I drove 44 hours straight across the country, and you get in there and fucking needle me for no reason. You were a mean girl last show. So now you're back on suspension. Your opening take.
Cool. My opening take is this, Richard. I have a little bit of the tism. There's no doubt about that. But if I can pick out that this coaching
you're fucking
staff
stupid.
Yeah, thank you. And if I can see that the coaching staff doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, like putting Marcus Jones on Jalen Waddle and letting him go off all day, and that this offense isn't doing anything, everyone says, well, this is the first year for Alex Van Pelt and DeVar Covington. Where's the building blocks for next year? Because it seems like this team is getting worse as we speak. Nothing to look forward to. Just thank God there's 5 games left of the season.
DeMarcus Covington. Tism.
Yep.
I'll take it from here. Look, you have to worry. Piggybacking off that, I think in a game like that, in a season like this, my mind goes to the bigger picture. And organizationally, you really have to start worrying about the future of this organization. Ray mentioned something called Covington. His name's actually DeMarcus. He's been getting schooled all season long as a defensive coordinator. But who in that organization is going to take the reins? We've chronicled it several times in the show. Everybody at a position of significance or really insignificance, like a wide receivers coach, all of them have not an ounce of experience before this season in the position that they're in. So how are they going to dig themselves out of it? Are they going to have to go externally outside the organization to bring somebody in to really grab the reins on the future of this franchise? That's a tricky move to do without actually blowing out your head coach, which they're not going to do. So that's where my mind is now. Who can they turn to that's actually going to drive them in the right direction? As currently constituted, we got no evidence or that they're on the staff right now, that they're in the building right now. So it's very worrisome. They're not in good hands. Not at all. Bobby, your opening take.
I think what we saw last week was the New England Patriots put everything that they had into that Rams game and left deflated. And what we saw this week was a team that they quit and lost interest and have resigned to the fact that they blow and they're not going to win another game the rest of this season. They may be competitive, but I don't think that their heart's in it anymore.
Yeah, some reports from that too to back that up. Well, that's the show. We're going to get into all the particulars here. And again, I want to see who you had the absolute worst day on Sunday. So we'll get into all of that right after the opening segment here. Welcome to the show. The Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Missoula and Mayo are friends. What the fuck? Apparently they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
I'm on vacation. I'm going to quay all these. I'm going to fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's Q-U-E. You idiot. Welcome to Snapshot Week 12. If you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. New room for Bobby, which is nice. Ray, you look good. You look not bad.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks.
You're welcome. Doing my best to be kind. It's hard. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platforms, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, rate, subscribe, review, tell your friends, as always, tell your mothers. And is anyone else getting sick of all of the subscriptions that everyone passwords, fucking subscriptions, $7.99 for this, $2.99 for that, $14.99 for that, $69.99 for that?
Nice.
Thank you. We've solved your problem. It's called Behind the Paywall. It's our exclusive access to your Boston sports paywall stories, articles, and major hard-hitting pieces in the Boston sports world. We're going to bring it to you curated, summarized insights from behind the paywall from ESPN, The Athletic, The Globe, The Herald, Boston Sports Journal, everything that you have to pay for. We're going to do it. We're going to summarize it for you all in one spot. Click the link in the bio. Simple email address, and we'll get it to you on a weekly basis. You'd be stupid not to sign up for that. That's the newest thing we got going on. So click the link in the bio or go to simplymindsports.com, join the newsletter for that exclusive behind the paywall content. There's a little bit of this in there this week, gentlemen. The regression back to suck, the regression to mean, which is suck. I don't want to wait any further. Who had the worst day on Sunday? I give you three options. Within these three options, there's several subcategories. Feel free to bash every one of them if you'd like. Option number one, Jerod Mayo, head coach. A complete coaching failure from top to bottom. It starts with him, but if you'd like to dive into more, feel free. But I think it all comes back to Jerod Mayo and his inability to make a change or make an impact anywhere across the board on this team. Option number two, Bradarian Lowe. One of the worst performances I've seen from an offensive lineman ever. I was trying to Google what the record is for offensive line penalties in a game. The Patriots had to have been close. Bradarian Lowe was awful. 4 penalties, given to pressures left and right. And your last option, sneaky pick here, Kyle Duggar. Out of place, out of position, all game long. Saw 3 touchdowns walk across the goal line directly in front of his face mask. I thought he was horrendous in that game.
Couldn't tell by your text exchange on Sunday.
Okay, fuck yourself, Ray. Mute yourself too, if you would. Bobby, who do you got there?
The number one answer is Jerod Mayo. He oversaw that complete disaster. It is him, but I do want to get to Duggar. It was pathetic. Watching the game, how bad he was. And if he's supposed to be your takeover defensive captain for Bentley, if that's what you're getting from a defensive captain, no wonder this team looks like complete and utter dog shit on defense. There's no communication. I think he must be a moron, because if he's the one that took over the headset, they're out of place every single position. He was so noticeably bad. Normally it's that hard to notice a defensive player be that bad. But I don't think I've ever seen a defensive player as bad as he was.
But just so we're clear, it is Jerod Mayo, not the guy you
Yes, it is Jerod Mayo. Yes, it is fucking Jerod Mayo.
I was a little curious on that.
I wanted to talk about that shit because he sucked.
He was very bad. And just so we're clear, Jerod Mayo is the coach. And so that is coaching. That's the biggest issue there, not necessarily the players there, Ray. Speaking of the text chain, you fucking dope, you crybaby little baby boy. Rich didn't agree with me. Oh no, that made me feel bad. I'm gonna go in the.
When have you ever agreed with me? When have you ever agreed with me? Never.
It's the hardest thing to do in my life on a daily basis to find something to agree with you with. And I try. I know I sound mean. I know I do. I can't help it. I'm a slave to logic, and you are so stupid constantly. It drives me insane. So I can't agree with you. You said this O-line sucks, and I said, well, I'm going to blame it on the coaching because they had 3 fucking penalties before the whistle started. Generally, you blame that on coaching. In the history of football, when you can't snap the ball, you go to coaching, which Bobby just did. Right? Who do you have down as the worst player on Sunday?
Thank you, Richard. I have it as Jerod Mayo and the coaching staff because he is the...
You fucking son of a bitch. God damn.
Could have saw that coming from a mile
Woo!
away.
Woo! Got him.
Yeah, you did. You
Wow.
set him up and knocked
I
us
set
down.
him up. That was a fucking
just alley-ooped yourself.
Boom! Right up the
Yeah.
backboard.
That's how you
Dunk
do it.
reverse.
That's how
I
you
even went
fucking
under the
do it.
legs and dunked on him. That was fucking perfect.
God. Go ahead.
Oh no! So yeah, Jerod Mayo. I mean, he's the head coach. He controls the offense and defense. Everything goes through him, and he can't make adjustments to save his life. But hey, at least he went to Israel, had a nice speech at the Weeping Wall. Went to Germany, had some things that he gave to Kraft, and that's why he has his position. It's not his coaching expertise. It's just he knows how to talk his way into anything. That's why. Richard, who do you think was the worst on Sunday?
I mean, the players were pretty bad. This roster's pretty gnarly. Bobby took all the great points from Duggar. Duggar stood out to me the worst because we know Mayo blows. We've seen this before. This was again regression back to the mean. This team sucks. They are underprepared. They're not disciplined. It starts obviously with Mayo. He says it himself every fucking week. It starts with me, but nothing changes. Really. Well, I take that back. I mean, they've been getting praise. Last 4 weeks, they've looked okay. Certainly better than they had, but they're playing against non-serious organizations. So obviously it starts at the top. When you have that many pre-snap penalties, guys not clued in, Austin Hooper, a longtime veteran, literally lining up on the defensive line, that goes back to coaching and not getting guys ready to play. We heard about bad communication in the secondary. So it does go back to that, but I will say Duggar stood out the most to me in that game. I mean, on the TV, Bobby's point, defensively, it's really hard to notice that. And God, it was a sore thumb. But we also we haven't seen that type of ineptitude from the offensive line probably since the first preseason game where Chooks Okorafor was still in there, and he literally had 4 penalties for procedure penalties, pre-snap. So it's been that long since we've seen that type of ineptitude. But again, it's Vederian Lowe. You kind of expect it. You kind of expect them to suck. Duggar, that stuck out, man. That goes back to my opening take. Who are you leaning on in this organization? On the field, off the field, front office? Drake Maye. That's kind of the only thing you can put your hat on. And guess what? They only scored 9 fucking points this game, and he had 2 more turnovers. So not great.
Can I throw another guy in there? Can I throw Marcus Jones in there at all? Or are you gonna get mad about that because he can't cover anyone? He's not a number 2 quarterback.
He's your a third or fourth corner. It's just when he gets exposed like that because the scheme is terrible and you're putting him on an island over and over again. Marcus Jones isn't a bad player. You just have to use him in the proper role.
What would that role be?
Did you guys know he played offense?
Nope.
No, the Marcus Jones game against Jalen Waddle, who went 8 catches, 144 yards and a touchdown, that starts with Elliott Wolf. They are slotted to they needed a second cornerback. We said it beginning in the offseason. They didn't. They had plenty of opportunities. They got plenty of money. They could have gotten a veteran cornerback at any given time to put over there on the left-hand side. It also stems from they don't roster an actual free safety, so they had to move Jonathan Jones to free safety to try and keep people actually in place because the communication was so bad.
Which you said, Rich, that they didn't have a real free safety on this team to begin the season. So go on.
They haven't had one since Devin McCourty left.
Mm-hmm.
They never addressed that issue. So it all stems from ineptitude from a team, a roster building standpoint. And then in game, once you see what's happening in the second quarter, maybe switch some shit up. I get that Tyreek Hill, Christian Gonzalez is covering Tyreek Hill, and he's doing a decent job. Tyreek Hill has a broken thumb, he hasn't been Tyreek Hill all season long, and Jalen Waddle is going off. So sure, maybe Marcus Jones on Tyreek Hill will look just as bad, but we don't know until it happens. We know it sucks versus Jalen Waddle. So fix it immediately. And there was talk out of the locker room that specifically for Devin Gaccio, that the adjustments were made. If you listen to it, he did everything he could to couch his disappointment in the coaches not acting quick enough with their schematic adjustments, which they made at halftime. And obviously the defense was much better in the second half. But in the second quarter,
24 points in the second quarter.
Yeah, again, game script's going to allow the Dolphins to take their foot off the gas a little bit there. So who knows even if that made a difference. Let's take a big break from us chattering for a second, and let's hear Mayo for the 150th time talk about how it starts with him, please.
It starts with me. And we've had these hiccups of games where the penalties really affected us, and they did today.
Do you think that?
Just to get it in there, every single game.
Got it. Starts with me.
Every single game.
My fault.
What does he do?
Not a lot.
It's kind of like what we ask what Bill does at work. What do you do, Bill? And he doesn't really give you a clear-cut answer. Just hangs out with Lou. Maybe he just hangs out with Kraft. Maybe that's all Mayo does.
If you're comparing Mayo to Bill, I don't know how many mammal deaths Mayo has under his belt. You know what I mean?
True. Maybe that's why he's not doing good at coaching. Maybe
outside of his coaching staff, who he's sending out to the slaughter every week. What do you think of these reports from laughing in the locker room after the game? Looked like the offense was having a little bit too light there after the shellacking that they were put on down there in Miami. A lot of reports. Every single beat writer had the same report. Jerod Mayo came out, denied it. You had a couple people denying it. Obviously, something was there. Drake Maye was not one of them. He looked visibly upset after the game, I guess, per reports. Actually, Phil Perry talks about it. You want to just play the Phil Perry clip there, Raymond, please?
The defense today, embarrassing. What was that about?
Yeah, they'll tell you they were embarrassed, Michael, especially at halftime going into the locker room down 24-0. I spoke to Kyle Duggar. He lamented the fact that they were not communicating well enough, that they weren't even focused well enough. And it makes you wonder what kind of preparation they had leading up to this game to come in and perform the way they did, especially on the back end. It was interesting to hear Godjaw bring up that they made an adjustment mid-game, and he indicated he wondered why it took as long as it did to make that adjustment. But it sounds like the Patriots decided at some point to go with just one linebacker on the field, give the secondary a little bit more help, go with some bigger bodies up front to two-gap and take care of the run on their own. And they felt as though that slowed down the Dolphins in the second half. But again, Devon Godjaw mentioning, wasn't sure why it took as long as it did. As much as he likes the coaches, he would have liked to see that adjustment made a little bit sooner.
Okay, apologies, sent you the wrong clip, but that just backed up what I was talking about with Gaccio and the coaching decisions. Bobby, any thought on the light locker room? You kind of addressed it in your opening take. They've acquiesced to being.
I'm going to assume it was something to do with one of the wide receivers again.
I was going to the exact same place.
Yeah. Exactly. They need to blow out that whole. They must have the most knuckleheaded wide receiver room in the history of the world. Not only are they terrible at football, they don't give a fuck about their careers, the job, the New England Patriots, or anybody. Because everything that ends up being toxic goes right back to these guys. They need to get blown out. Like if it's Demario Douglas, he's not that fucking good. Get rid of him. Trade him. I don't give a shit what you do. Get rid of all of them. Like he's clearly a problem. The guy looks like. He doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. My mind went directly to the wide receivers as well. Jerod Mayo on the WEI interview Monday morning mentioned without really asking, he was asked about the laughing. And he said, yeah, I think Veterinarian Lowe smiled while something was happening. Then he goes, but Lowe's always smiling. What do you want me to say about that? And then he's kind of dropped it. So, I went to the wide receivers too, but maybe it's the whole the whole damn staff, other than May, who everyone said, looked pissed. While we're at it, Ray, let's just keep rolling. We've got a May clip, so let's hear what May had to say.
Handling the struggles right now.
Yeah, it's tough. Anytime you're losing, I think just like I've always said, I hate losing more than I really like to win. So losing sucks, and I think just what I told some guys inside, I just remember this feeling. I remember this feeling of really getting our butts whooped today, and I think it's only up from here, and we got a lot of bright future and bright players in there that are making some plays for the Patriots.
Raymond, what were your initial thoughts of the Drake? As you're shaking your head.
Boy's stupid. Boy's Southern stupid. That's what I think. The way he talks and stuff, I mean, yeah, it's nice to hear. Like, you can tell that he was very pissed off after that game, but he has to get a PR guy or someone or like a speech guy to help him off in the offseason to enunciate a little better for the sports media up here in Boston.
Yeah, he sounds genuine, at least.
He sounds like a guy I would I've been asking for who's the guy, who's going to take him out. I'd give him who's the guy that's going to take the Patriots to the next level, going to get them out of the hole. The only guy I've heard speak in this organization since Brady left is Drake Maye, that I have actual confidence could do it. That looked like a guy for the first time this season who was generally disappointed in his team and his organization. Like, we didn't come prepared. This isn't on me. I'm going to take it on the chin because I'm the quarterback and I understand my responsibilities here. But this place is fucked and it sucks. It sucks and it needs to change. And he seems like he's still got the moxie that I can be the guy to help us do this. But that's the exact guy that next year when this same shit happens, you're on the verge of him blowing himself out of town, not signing that second contract and getting himself out of town. That's what that sounded like to me.
Do you know what's nice though about Drake Maye? He's not like Mac Jones, who went to Alabama, or like a Jaden Daniels, who went to LSU, who always won at the highest level. He went to North Carolina. I think his best record was 7-5, Bobby, at North Carolina. He never was a top echelon guy going to bowl games and getting all that respect. Like, he's probably humbled by all of this, and like he's not going to get affected like Mac Jones did.
So you're saying his standards are shit low. So this fucking this striving for mediocrity is right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, like, how Mac Jones was affected and he like hated losing because he never did it in high school or college because he went to Alabama and went to
Mac Jones was an anomaly of the COVID season in college football. Alabama was one of the only schools that didn't have any COVID restrictions. They practiced the whole fucking time and went out there with a full squad that just ran roughshod through all these other teams that weren't even playing.
Roll Tide. There's something to be said about adversity. There's also something to be said about winning. Try not to make the comparisons to Brady, but Brady went through plenty of adversity through high school and college, his time in Michigan, not getting a starting role till a senior, but then he went out and won a fucking bowl game. Okay. So against all odds, and Drake Maye hasn't won shit. So yeah, he might be perfect for this situation, but he's never won either. So maybe I take back what I said. He doesn't know what it takes to win because he's never done it. None of them have. Not a single soul in that building has done or won shit.
Ever heard of Robert Kraft?
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't win his bid to get elected in the Hall of Fame either. Suck it, Kraft.
There you go. Spoiler alert. All right. Let's switch gears here to our pros, cons, and observations. We've got no pros. So good. Thank you, Bobby. This is obviously coming from Chief Bobby. I read it word for word the way he puts it in an email. And if he Ron Burgundy-D's me, then he Ron Burgundy-D's me. Okay. Con, tackle play. Possibly, nope, I read that wrong. Possible, grammar guru. Possible the worst performance of the year by the New England tackles. Nice little move there. I thought you were going to go with like tackling, like they were fundamentally unsound tackling on the defensive side of the ball, but no, switched it up. This is New England tackles, offensive tackles, left tackle, right tackle. Got it. Back to Bobby. They were oh fuck yeah. What did you write this blind without looking or thinking? Did Ray write this? Hold on. Let me gather my thoughts. Here we go. Back to Bobby's con. There were they a turnstile for an edge defender. No communication on stunts, no ability to stop the pass rush. 6 penalties between them. Complete failure by football operations as a product. Drake Maye under pressure all game, added to his lofty turnover total with a fumble and another late interception to seal it. It's a hell of a sentence there. They were a turnstile.
Whatever.
Yeah, we addressed it. Jacobs didn't, Vidarian Lowe was on your 3 possibilities for worst player or coach of the game. We didn't talk about Jacobs at right tackle, who doesn't belong in the fucking NFL. So again, I don't blame him on him. He got benched for City at right tackle.
So wouldn't you blame the GM for bringing this fucking atrocity to the organization?
Yes.
They didn't. There we go. So we never talked about Elliott Wolf. I mean, part of this is all his fault as well.
No, not on the offensive side of the ball. The reason we had Marcus Jones on Jalen Waddle is because of Elliott Wolf and refusing to put a second cornerback in the position or getting a free safety. So, but yeah, obviously, like the biggest failure from Elliott Wolf this season was Chukwuekorfor for thinking that he'd come in and play left tackle.
Well, would you call it a winnow too? Paying him all that money to play right tackle, then moving to right guard?
I'm going to give Owino a little bit of a break because of their ineptitude from a coaching staff, bouncing him back and forth, not having anybody next to him, losing David Andrews. He's obviously not had a great year. It's been a down year for him individually. But I think surrounded by decent coaching and staff, like he's a good player. We know he's a good player.
He's in between a practice squad center and a practice squad tackle. He's not going to look good.
Yeah. So, but it does go back to Elliott Wolf. I mean, that's who they surrounded Mike. They spent $20 million a year in Mike Owino, and that's it. Nothing else. They did nothing else to address the most important part of the organization when you draft a quarterback 3rd overall. It's a complete failure and ineptitude and negligence by the front office and Elliott Wolf. No doubt. The defense was pathetic. The Dolphins had whatever they wanted in the passing game. There was no resistance whatsoever put forth by the Patriots on any front. Tua, not a lesbian. 29 of 40, 317 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He did his yearly teabagging of the New England. Okay, there you go. Covington has no clue how to stop a nosebleed. Should have left him in the Miami. Don't disagree with you there. The best trend in the NFL continues. The Patriots play well and beat up on lesbian-looking or acting like quarterbacks. Tua Tagovailoa, certainly not one. And he shredded you to pieces. 7 straight. I think Gotcho's, I should have pulled his exact quote. Rinse and repeat or something. He's like, same story as always. We go down to Miami. We get our asses kicked. 2-7-0 against us. It's embarrassing that we played bad football. I hate it. Just they can't beat Tua.
No.
Do you respect him?
Completely destroy him.
Would you call him a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? When healthy and not doing the radio on the field?
I think that he has found a offense and scheme and personnel group to excel around, and I think that they're utilizing his skills to its max potential. You see that when he goes down. I mean, they're absolute trash when they go down. So you have to give him credit for that. And as a Patriots fan, I've never seen our team beat him. So yeah, you have to tip your cap.
Do you think he would be good in Carolina? Like, do you think if you traded Bryce?
No.
So do you think if you brought Bryce Young to Miami that Mike McDaniel could make Bryce Young look as good as Tua?
Maybe. I don't know Bryce Young's skill set. Is he as accurate a passer as
he doesn't throw with as much anticipation as Tua does. He throws that ball before receivers think about breaking.
Yeah, I think Tua's accuracy, and he has a mental game that not a lot of people give him credit for. And I think that's all working in Mike McDaniel's system. And he's got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So that helps. And Devon Achane. They got the fastest.
And Jonnu Smith is the greatest player in NFL fucking history now. Fuck you, Jonnu Smith.
Well, that happens when Kyle Duggar plays you.
Do you think one more hit to the head that the mental game will be out of the picture for Tua?
Nope. I think he's Samoan, and that dude's just going to keep playing and unfortunately die young. So good. That's his choice. Yes. Only the good die young. Okay, here's some observations. Kyle Duggar has quit on the season. He should have never come back from the injury he was probably faking. He was responsible for multiple missed assignments and looked like the worst player on the field along with the tackles. He was supposed to be a leader, and if that is the performance a leader gives you, your defense looks like that. I don't know if he's quit. I think he was not very good.
He was not dialed into that fucking game. We've seen him play well.
I'm going to blame that one on coaching, right?
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
Okay, yeah, of course you do.
Totally agree.
No, all day injury. He's slow. They mentioned it multiple times in the broadcast. They weren't setting the levels well enough from a linebacking standpoint and secondary standpoint. They weren't getting enough depth, which left the middle of the field open. We've been saying that all season long. The middle of that field is open against this defense all season long. Kyle Duggar's not going to change that. Kyle Duggar's never been a good player in the passing game. He's never been a good player in the He's Patrick Chung, but he's light. He's Patrick Chung light. He's not even as good as Patrick Chung. Who
Do you think if he gave him a little cocaine, he'll be a little better with like Patrick Chung?
Much better player.
I mean, I'd take the risk. If that's what it takes.
Nothing to lose, right?
Kyle Duggar played in Division II fucking football. Bill Belichick drafted him with a hard on because he wanted to shove it in the hater's ass. He's been overrated and overhyped his entire career. He's been burnt on game-losing touchdowns by tight ends his entire career. He is not the guy that should have got the 3-year extension that they gave him. He is not the future of this defense. He is not a captain on this defense. He is a fringe in the box safety. That's it. He's just a fucking guy. And the only reason we have his name because the roster is so bad.
Yeah, I agree. He is critically overrated.
So there you go. I will say this, though, gentlemen. Look for a competitive game next week against the Colts. They have a bad quarterback, and they have what you want to bet again, Ray? You've been shaking L's on the chin all day. You want to bet again? This is who the Patriots have been competitive against this year. Bad quarterbacks and teams that don't have a clue coaching-wise or established program.
Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson is not a lesbian, so I don't think the Patriots are going to take.
Anthony Richardson sucks. What is his completion percentage?
Can we confirm his? Can we confirm that? I don't really know much about Anthony Richardson.
Can you look up his completion percentage real quickly, Raymond? Well, I tell you how wrong you are. If Joe Flacco plays, Patriots might lose by 40. If Richardson plays, it'll be competitive. They'll probably still lose because they can't stop the run. But the coaches over there probably don't have a clue. They probably don't have a clue. If they had a clue, is Jonathan Taylor hurt? He's always hurt. Is he playing?
No, he's playing. He sucks.
Well, he won't on Sunday. He'll go for 200 yards on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. He'll have a resurgence.
10 or 12 or something. It'll look competitive. It won't be a blowout like this.
47.1 completion percentage.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. So they will keep it somewhat competitive and close against the Colts. Dare I say they might even squeak out a win if Anthony Richardson really shits the bed. But it doesn't change the fact of where they're at. It does not change a damn thing.
Vegas has
on that. What do you think the score is going to be?
Ooh, 19-16 Colts.
Okay, so that's exactly what I just said. This is why I freaked out 20 minutes ago.
You said the Patriots are going to win.
No, I didn't.
Did he not? Did he not say that, Bobby? Did he not say the Patriots are going to win this game?
He didn't say that specifically. It was a turn of phrase.
He was alluding to the fact that the Patriots are going to win this game.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm going to have a stroke. I'm going to have a fucking stroke. Can you play? Can we just switch gears? That's all. Any final thoughts on the Patriots Dolphins?
No.
Real quick, just so we can keep the Drake Maye hype train down a little bit. Another terrible interception and another terrible strip sack. And by the way, his touchdown, loser fucking touchdown. All three of those players are what loser franchise quarterbacks look like. Crazy out of his ass touchdown, has no business being there. Without it, their offense is zero. The strip sack, trying to do too much, kept the ball out loose with it, just lose for another down. And then what was the third one?
Touchdown.
The touchdown. Oh, and the interception was just bonehead interception. Another stupid bonehead interception.
Now, 15 minutes ago, you just basically said, "Well, I'm going to try some editing skills and go back to this." But you basically said the only bright spot is Drake Maye and how he has moxie and blah, 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 blah. But yet he did all this and it's a negative.
Yeah, what does that say about the franchise? That's called nuance, Raven.
Nuance. I gotta look that up, bro.
Okay, let's switch gears here and let's finish up with one more bad loss for the Patriots here. Can you please give me Burt Breer?
There are a couple things at work here. Number one, the Spygate, Deflategate thing is part of it with the committee. There's no question about that. They feel like if he is going to be celebrated for winning the Super Bowl championships, the 6 of them with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, then he has to wear their warts too. So that's one factor. I think the other factor is what we've all been talking about, which was the endless campaigning to get him in. Now, my understanding is that Kraft's camp has dialed that back the last couple of years. I think now, based on the age of some of the guys in that committee, some of those guys are out of the business of football at this point. They're sick of being told they're idiots. They're sick of being told they don't know what they're doing. And so what does that cause them to do? That's caused them to go the other way and show how much smarter they are.
Any thoughts on the Hall of Fame snubbing for Mr. Kraft?
That's what happens when you go to get happy endings down in Florida and have all these gates against you. You're not going to get in. Pretty much, the old timers going to say, "Nah, it's bad for business. It's a bad look for us if we let you in." So yeah, he's not going to get in. He's going to be Pete Rose. He's not going to get in until he's dead.
Pete Rose still isn't in.
Yeah, next year. Watch this.
NFL owners are finally getting their little bit of a knife of revenge at him. This is petty NFL bullshit, NFL owner cattiness at its finest.
It's not even the owners doing his own vote. And it's not the gates. They're just using that as an excuse. But it is the revenge of the Patriots snubbing their nose, their arrogant nose. This is Belichick's fault as much as it is Kraft's. The winning, the arrogance, all of it is coming back around. The Kraft petitioning to get into the Hall of Fame, all of that is the reasons why. But I'm here to tell you, it's all still bullshit. If Hall of Fame writers, Hall of Fame voters are the worst. Hall of Fame, every single Hall of Fame in professional sports is useless now. It has no credibility whatsoever because they let too many people in and they let the wrong people in. Barry Bonds isn't in the MLB Hall of Fame. Your Hall of Fame is fucking worthless. Sorry. Robert Kraft isn't in the Hall of Fame after this. Fine. You want to give him a couple years of slap on the wrist for being an asshole? Fine. But he's one of the greatest owners in NFL history. If you're a true Hall of Fame voter, vote on the fucking credentials, not on your pettiness, okay? Hall of Fame voters suck. Every single one of them. They're all petty, stupid, nerdy assholes.
Do you think that's going to happen with Belichick and Brady? Do you think they're going to get slapped on the wrist and not get in the first time? Yeah, they're going to get in the first time they're eligible.
In first time, 1,000,000%.
He better be unanimous. Yeah.
Oh, Brady's unanimous. Belichick's unanimous. Oh,
Has
Belichick
to be.
might not be unanimous. He made a lot of enemies, but he also has a lot of friends.
Well,
They're
isn't
both-
it the media that like really determines that? Like a lot of the Hall of Fame voters are from the media.
The NFL Hall of Fame has like 17, I think, people on the committee that are made up of media, ex-professionals within the NFL. None of them are current. Like, there's no owners or like current NFL people in there. So it's media and like Dan Fouts is one. There's a couple names in there.
I'm just asking that because you know how he was with the media. He fucking hates the media and always you turn the microphone down on the NFL logo and all that shit. So
here's what I'd say. I'd say you're going to want to check out Behind the Paywall this week. We'll bring you some insight from the Albert Breers of the world, who give you a little bit more. We'll bring you a little bit more insight on how that Hall of Fame actually works, and some of these fucks that are keeping Robert Kraft away from the Hall of Fame. By the way, he didn't even make it to the vote. Like, there's a committee that puts people up for the vote and then they vote. He didn't even make it to that. So it's a clear just smear campaign on this guy, and it's stupid. It's petty. Now, I'm not saying
1918.
Like, I have no love lost for Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens was an asshole to the Red Sox. Those guys are the best pitcher and fucking hitter in MLB, and these voters are just self-indulgent douchebags. So they all suck. So check out Behind the Paywall. You can get the link in this video, or you can go to SimplesMindSports.com, join the newsletter. Wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, rate, subscribe, review, tell your friends, as always, tell your mothers, and tune in on Thursday for a special Thanksgiving edition of the Simple Mind Sports Show. Talk a little football, Thanksgiving football, some top 5 Thanksgiving dishes from Dr. Big Mac himself, 10 questions from Thanksgiving for Chief Bobby. This is very special. It's the first time we've been able to do this Thanksgiving show with an actual native, Chief Bobby. So that's really going to bring some perspective, I think. Maybe learn something.
A lot of maize.
Educational.
Yeah. Join us there Thursday. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.